Polar Express was made famous when written by Chris Van Allsburg in 1985. Today, that story comes to life as we take you on a magical journey. So grab your tickets, because today on Travelin', we're heading to the North Pole. We're here with Frank DeFruscio from Sales and Development for the Believe in Books Literacy Foundation. And welcome to our show, Frank.
Thanks, Erin.
Could you start off by telling us about the Believe in Books Literacy Foundation?
Okay, the Believe in Books Literacy Foundation started about 15 years ago, about the same time that the Polar Express started, okay? And basically our mission is to promote literacy for young children from birth all the way until early teens. All right, and we have 3 different programs. One's called the Books from Birth program. Another one is the Books and Character Outreach Reading program, which is really terrific because what we have actually have volunteers who dress up in character, and then they go to the different elementary schools in different places all around the North Country and talk about, they read a story, and basically the kids just get so excited, and it's all about promoting literacy in children. The Polar Express is it's a wonderful story. I mean, that's what this is all about. The Chris Van Allsburg story. The illustrations are amazing, and the story really comes off beautifully in this theater. Every night that we do this, it started last week, the Friday after Thanksgiving, and we go all the way to Monday, December 21st, at this location. And we also have a location in Lincoln, New Hampshire, that we do the same program, and we partner with the Hobo Railroad in Lincoln, and we partner with the Conway Scenic Railroad here to put this fabulous program on. What
is your favorite Christmas memory?
My favorite Christmas memory? Oh, I have to go back a long ways. I suppose as a child, the morning that my sister and I both got up very, very early in Salem, New Hampshire. Actually, it was in Salem when we had just moved there. We were 10 years old, and we were very anxious about seeing what was under the tree and perhaps maybe get a peek at some of the things. And we both got up very quietly, and we were futzing around under the tree, and the tree fell. Oh, no. And so we both scattered back into our rooms as like nothing ever happened. But of course, my mother and father figured out that's what had happened. That we had done that, but. I mean, that's just fun. There's so many. Just be with grandparents, with family, especially family that's all past, to look back at it and to remember what wonderful times we all had, much like the way families today do. And in my family, the big part of it was always the big dinner, the turkey dinner, and in our case, a lot of Italian food. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful time. That's our executive director, A.O. Lucy, okay? And I wasn't here when he first developed the program, but obviously he had a vision, all right, based on the book, and said, there's something that we can do here possibly that would attract a lot of people and would also at the same time help as a fundraiser for the Believe in Books Literacy Foundation. So somewhere in a kitchen, somewhere maybe with some of his family or with other friends, they came up with this idea: how can we weave this story into our literacy foundation to raise money? And in fact, they've raised almost $500,000 in the last 15 years for literacy in the North Country.
Explain the process for bringing the Polar Express to life.
To bring it to life, it all starts in the summertime with phone calls, people signing up for our lottery, selling to lodging sponsors to get the tickets, all of that. Okay, so finally they have their date set. So family would say, like tonight, they'll have a Thursday night that they'll be going to North Conway, and we ask parents to dress their children just in their pajamas. Some of the parents come that way also. Okay, and they arrive at the train station about a half hour before the train actually leaves. The kids, as I saw last week, the day after Thanksgiving, they're almost subdued because they know something special, something exciting is going to happen.
Yeah.
And of course, they're just children, and everything is so large. The train station, the train, the people all around them, they're being handled, and they just can't wait to get on there. And of course, we have greeters, a couple of people in purple capes and red scarves who tell people just exactly where to go. Okay, and then when they get on the train, we have an assortment of elves. And, well, the elves actually aren't on the train. We have chefs that will work up the hot chocolate and greet them. And then when they get to the theater themselves, the elves are here. And they're just all around, and they're talking to the kids, and they're leading them up to the theater here where the program begins. And the program actually is where the Chris Van Allsburg story of Christmas, the Polar Express, is read by one of our readers. We have a couple of different readers. And then Santa Claus makes a brief appearance to say hello to everybody, and everybody's given a little bell, and then they just all work their way back to the train and then back to North Conway to the train station. In this case, or in Lincoln's case, it would be the Hobo Railroad Station.
How many people does it take to make the story of the Polar Express come to life? A
lot of people. It takes a lot of volunteers. We have just a handful of people who are staff, but we have so many people who just, they call us every day. We're getting calls still. How can I help? All right. So, I mean, literally, I could say hundreds of people. So over the span of the 15 days or so that we do this in 2 locations, who do it on a voluntary basis. We feed them. Okay, we give them something between shows. All right, but everybody is just so enthusiastic and so happy, and they do it year in and year out, and it's all ages. It's not just children. We have people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s even in elf costumes, okay? Because they just enjoy the excitement in what all the children go through and the families, and just a wonderful, it's just goodwill all around. But underneath all of this is the fact that we are promoting literacy for children.
How long does it take to usually train the volunteers?
Boy, it doesn't take 5 minutes, and they're ready to go. Just got to fit them in their costume, and you ask them to smile. Okay, it really doesn't take much at all. In fact, if somebody wants to volunteer as an elf, we just ask them to show up at this theater at about 4:30, and we'll fit them with their elf costume, and then they're off and running.
Oh, good.
This is the perfect
So
elf.
it's really easy.
It's easy to be an elf. You could be an elf. You would be a very good elf.
Have you ever run into any problems during the event, say problems with the train or anything like that?
Nothing. I don't think anything major. There may have been some minor glitches. I can't think of anything. I mean, weather can sometimes be a problem. I mean, it's rain or snow, shine, doesn't matter what it is, okay? This train is going to run. And so last year, as I understand it, there were blizzards, and it was pretty terrible, and it was difficult for people to get up here. But the show still ran. Some, I'm sure, missed the train, unfortunately. But generally speaking, everybody pretty much knows what they have to do. The people at the train, for instance, the Conway Scenic Railroad, where I'm more familiar with, I mean, they've been doing it for years. Okay, not only this event, but they're always running a train during the summertime and some parts of the winter. So they're all professionals about what they're doing, okay? And AO always has a staff, a knowledgeable staff here, and the volunteers take right to what they need to do, so that it really runs very nicely.
Good.
Without any problems.
What message would you like to leave people with, but especially what message would you like to leave children who are watching with?
Make sure that your mother and father bring you to this event, because you're just going to love it. I mean, it's if you've read, and I'm talking to young people now, if you've read the story or had the story read to you, we stay as close to that story as possible. So what you've read is what you will experience. And to come up here into the mountains of New Hampshire, and generally there's lots of snow around. Santa Claus is here, and it's just all about Christmas and just believing that there is a Santa Claus, because there truly is, and the spirit is alive and well in the mountains of New Hampshire.
How can people go about getting tickets if they wanted to try to come next year?
Well, there's a couple of different ways of doing that, okay? We have lots of lodging sponsors who one can call up a lodging place in the North Country, and they usually package stayovers with tickets, okay?
All right.
The other way is for 2 days in October, we have separate phone calling type lottery. People have to sign up, and you'll see there's like a booklet like this that'll have or an event program that has a little sign-up sheet that you send with $10, and you send it to us, okay? And then what we do is we have a lottery, and we choose those names on one of those 2 days for each Lincoln and North Conway, and we call those folks. And we require that the people be at home. We're not going to call back. Give us as many numbers as you want, and we call basically, we start at 7 in the morning and we work until about 9 at night, calling all the people that were lucky enough to be chosen in the lottery. And then, again, as I say, there's the lodging sponsors. And then after that, sometimes people go to Craigslist or eBay to find tickets, but the main way of doing it, and again, it supports the Believe in Books Literacy Foundation, is signing up for the lottery. There's a $10 fee, and you can purchase up to 12 tickets if you do get chosen. Okay, and their tickets come in coach, first class, premier, or dome, depending on whether you're in Lincoln or North Conway. It's called dome in North Conway. It's called premier in Lincoln. So by lottery, or by our lodging sponsors, where you might come up here and stay a night or two, and they will supply you with the tickets when you tell them you want the Polar Express package. Most of the folks that do come up here come from the Londonderry area, the Boston area, North Shore, South Shore. These are our people. They always have been. The tourist industry up here is always counted on those people, no matter what it is. But it's worth the ride. It's worth the stay. We have, in North Conway, we have 100 restaurants within 5 miles. So there's plenty of places to eat. The accommodations here are terrific. The mountains are beautiful, as everybody knows. This is God's country. So I would just tell people, sign up for it, get ready for it. If your kids are the right age, remember, now's the time, because after a while that all passes and the wonderment and the believing changes. So make your way up here if you can. There's still probably some tickets available if I don't know when this is going to run, but you might be able to see that. But watch for next year, watch for event programs, watch to sign up, or call us at Believe in Books Literacy Foundation, or go to polarexpress.org.
Can you tell us your name?
Christopher.
Okay.
Nicholas.
What are you most looking forward to?
Going on the train and let me drive it.
Oh yeah, you think you're gonna drive it?
I'm driving the train.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna blow the whistle.
Okay.
Bell, jingle bell, jingle bell.
Okay, are you excited to go on the Polar Express today?
Yes.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to?
Santa.
Santa, yeah. Do you know what you want for Christmas?
Yeah. A handy mandy thing, the handy motorcycle, and the princess.
Yeah, how we doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. How many in our group?
2.
Just 2?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
2, please.
Group of 2. Welcome to the Polar Express.
Thank
I'm right
you.
this way.
Hi. Good, how are you?
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away.
Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold.
Ding dong, that is their song, with joyful ring, all caroling.
One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air.
Oh, how they are raising the song, ringing in the dead, telling the tale.
Gay and merry, wild people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here.
Merry, 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 merry Christmas.
Merry, 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 merry Christmas.
All on this end, all without end.
And joyful tone to every home.
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away.
Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold.
Ding dong, that is their song, with joyful ring, all caroling.
One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air.
Oh, how they are raising the song, ringing in the dead, telling the tale.
Gay and merry, wild people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, 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 merry Christmas.
Merry, 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 merry Christmas.
All on this end, all without end.
Their joyful toll to every home.
All on this end, all without end.
Their joyful toll to every home.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Hark how the bells
All seem to say, Christmas is here. Dong, ding dong, ding dong,
Santa is very busy this time of year preparing for his midnight journey. But if we all wish very hard, perhaps he may pay us a visit. Thank you so much for visiting our workshop here at the North Pole, and Merry Christmas!
Hi, excuse me. Pardon me. How about one more round of applause for the elves, huh? That was great singing. Give your elves a hand. Well, I was just getting ready to go to bed, and I heard the train, and then I heard singing, and I said, you know what? I'm going to come down and see what all the fuss is about. Welcome to the North Pole. Hi, how are you? We're glad to have you with us. Hi. Usually before I go to bed, I read a story, my favorite book. And it's about a boy that made the trip here a long, long time ago, when he was maybe about your age. Can I share my story with you? Yeah! On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly, silently. I was listening for a sound a friend of mine told me I'd never hear. It was the sound of ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. There is no Santa, my friend had insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night, I did hear sounds, though not of ringing bells. From outside came the sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and I saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it. A conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took out a large pocket watch from his vest, then looked up at my window. I put on my slippers and robe and I tiptoed downstairs and out the door. All aboard, the conductor cried out. So I ran up to him. Well, he said, are you coming? Where, I asked. Why, to the North Pole, of course, was his answer. This is the Polar Express. I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard. The mountains turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren desert of ice, the great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the light of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. There, said the conductor, is the North Pole. The North Pole. It was a huge city, standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first we saw no elves. They're gathering at the center of the city, the conductor told us. That is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas. Well, who receives the first gift of Christmas? We all asked. The conductor answered, he will choose one of you. Look, shouted one of the children, the elves! Outside we saw hundreds of elves. As our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole, we slowed to a crawl. Oh, so crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the North Pole could go no farther, we stopped, and the conductor led us outside. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. Their reindeer were excited. They pranced, and the ringing bells of the... Oh, I'm telling you. It was a magical thing. Circle. You would depart, and a quest appeared. Let's have this. Handed me up I sat on Santa's knee, and he asked aloud, what would you like for Christmas? I knew I could have any gift I could imagine. The thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa smiled. Then he gave me a hug and told me how to cut a bell from a reindeer's harness. We all tossed it up to Santa and stood holding it high and called out, the first gift of Christmas. A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me, and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from Santa's sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeers' names and cracked his whip. His team charged forward and climbed into the air. Santa circled once above us, then disappeared into the dark polar sky. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see the bell. So I reached into my pocket, and the only thing I felt was a hole. I know. I had lost the silver bell from Santa Claus's sleigh. Let's hurry outside and look for it, one of the children said. But the train gave a sudden lurch and started moving. We were on our way home. It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood in my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. What? I yelled out. He cupped his hands around his mouth. Merry Christmas, he shouted. The Polar Express let out a large blast from its whistle. And sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside was the silver bell. There was a note. Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed Mr. C. I shook the bell. It made the most beautiful sound. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as the years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown very old, the bell still rings for me. Truly, truly believe.
Everyone. Merry Christmas! My word, look at all these bright, smiling young faces. And children, too. Now tell me, did you have a good trip? Were you warm enough? It's warm enough now that I suspect that all you're shivering from is anticipation. Now, did you have some cocoa? Was the cocoa as rich and thick as melted chocolate bars?
I've waited a long time to ask somebody this. Is that beard real?
Tell me, have you been good? Have you been very good? Have you been perfect? Well, if you've been perfect, you're not working hard enough for this childhood for you. I don't expect you to be perfect. I'd just like you to try hard, be kind, and try not to make the same mistake too many times. Come get around to see most everyone. So stay put. Way to go. Look at you all. Merry Christmas. Let's see. There's a reindeer treat for you. Faces in Oh. Looking for somebody for the first gift of Christmas. Somebody who's sitting down. Somebody who's quiet. Not too worry. Not too worry. There's so many people around here with kind hearts who are nice. So hard to choose. Oh, let's have this fellow here. You don't have to be perfect. Just try hard, be kind as much as you can. For goodness. Okay? Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. Take this way out, Will. Picture it. Merry Christmas.
Whoa! Did you hear what that little boy asked for? Everybody gets a bell. Thank you. What a wonderful idea. That was perfect. Wait, I have an idea. Before Santa gets too far away, on the count of three, let's all yell, Merry Christmas, Santa. Can you help me? Can you? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
I had so much fun riding on the Polar Express. It was a great time in the North Pole. I even got a bell from Santa's sleigh. I hope you all enjoyed taking this journey with us, and I'd like to thank the Believe in Books Literacy Foundation for allowing us to do so. I hope you all have a very happy holiday, and until next time, keep traveling.